Hello guys, in this module number 4 we will continue our discussion on thermodynamics questions which are available in RS Kurmi. So let's start the video. Our next question given in this series is match the correct answers from group B for the statements given in group A. So we have to match them correct one. Okay, so let's see. The value of specific heat at constant pressure for air is, we know this specific heat at constant pressure which is 1.005, which is this one. It should also have some units which should be something kilojoule per kg Kelvin, right? It is a specific heat, so A will match with C. Okay, now B, the value of gas constant in SI units is gas constant or characteristic gas constant. So what is the value of that? That value is 287 joule per kg Kelvin, or you can say 0.287 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So our B will match with D. Okay, let's see C. The value of specific heat at constant volume for air, CV for air, we know its value is 0.71, 0.718 or 0.720 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, right? These are the standard values for air, so you have to remember this. So C will match with E, right? So next, the value of universal gas constant. Now this is R bar, or you can say R suffix U. Okay, R bar in SI units is it is this one, 8314 joule per kg mole Kelvin, or you can say 8.314 kilojoule per kg mole Kelvin, right? So D will match with B. Our next is, this is not is C, this is E. So E is given the value of adiabatic index for air, right? Gamma, which is adiabatic index, which is the ratio of Cp by Cv, which is given as 1.4, right? So E will match with A. So this is our correct matching for this question, right? So let's see our next question. Our next question says, when a system changes its state from one equilibrium state to another equilibrium state, then the path of successive states through which the system has passed is known as, we know, if we join those number of points, right, then we will get something which is called as thermodynamic process, right? If the process this again meets the initial point, then that becomes thermodynamic cycle, right? But it, in this question, it did not mention any that it has returned to initial state. It just saying the path of successive states, which is clearly a thermodynamic process. So answer is thermodynamic process. So our next question is, the process occurring in open system which permit the transfer of mass to or from the system are known as. See, if mass is permitting to or from the system, then it will be clearly known as flow process. Flow in which mass gets flow from or to the system, right? So our answer to this question will be A. Next question, a path 1 to 3 is given. Okay, this is path 1 to 3. A system absorb 100 kilojoule of heat and does 60 kilojoule of work. It has given Q and it also given W. While along with path, this Q and W are given for path 1, 2 and 3. Now he is talking about path 143. About path 143, it does 20 kilojoule of work. The heat absorbed during the cycle 143 is, right guys? So if we apply first law of thermodynamics to process 1, 2, 3, what we will get? We know that del Q equal to du plus del W, and del Q has given as absorbs 100 kilojoule of heat, so it will be 100. And what will be internal energy? Internal energy is same, but what is work has given? Work has given as 60, right? So it will become 60. So our du will become 100 minus 60, 40 kilojoule, right? So we got change in internal energy from the first equation. So we will see what is heat during 143 by applying again same equation, del q equal to du plus del w, right? Del q equal to du plus del w. In this he says the work is 20 kilojoule and he is asking del q, which is heat, and du we already obtained as 40. So 40 plus 20, it will become 60 kilojoule, right? So this will be our answer, del q equal to 60 kilojoule. So option D will be the correct answer. So let's see next question. It was a very simple numerical. You can expect this type of questions. So just understand. If you have any doubt, then let me know in comments. I will again try to describe that. Okay. Let's see next question. Which of the following is a reversible non-flow process? Non-flow. See, non-flow means the system should be closed one, and masses should not flow across the system. So that will happen in the isochoric process only, in which volume remains constant, right? Volume remains constant. It does not allow any mass to transfer across the system. So our answer to the question will be isochoric process. Next question, the free expansion process is dash non-flow process. Is it reversible or irreversible? It is highly irreversible process. So you never tick reversible. It is a highly irreversible process. You cannot reverse free expansion process, right? So our answer will be irreversible. Free expansion is a irreversible process. Next question, the isothermal and isotropic processes are reversible non-flow processes. Agree or disagree? What do you think? Isothermal and isotropic are reversible non-flow? Are they non-flow or flow processes? These are flow processes. They are not non-flow processes. If it is isochoric, then it is a non-flow processes. So answer to this question will disagree. We disagree. So next question is, the heat energy stored in the gas and used for raising the temperature of the gas is known as external energy, no. Kinetic energy, it's not kinetic energy, nor molecular energy. Our answer is internal energy, right guys? So answer to the question will be internal energy. Next question, when a gas is heated, change takes place in pressure, volume, temperature, or all of this. When a gas is heated, see, pressure can change, volume also can change, temperature also can change. So our option will be all of this, right? So we are done with this. So our next question says, when a gas is heated at constant volume, right, at constant volume, then its temperature will increase, its pressure will increase, both temperature and pressure will increase, neither temperature nor pressure will increase. See, answer to the question will be both temperature and pressure will increase. So if you take a TS diagram, TS property diagram, and if you plot a constant volume process, so it will be something like this, right? So if you heat it something, it will be like this, 1 to 2. So you can see here, and the same if you plot it on PV also, PV diagram. So what you will get? For constant volume you will get something like this, and you are heating, right? So if you are heating, molecules will get energized and the pressure will increase. So our line will go something from 1 to 2, right? So from TS and PV diagram, what we can conclude here, that both temperature and pressure will increase. See, 1 to 2 temperature is increasing. Now leave entropy as of for now, but just check here that temperature is increasing for constant volume heating, and constant volume heating here also pressure is increasing. So we can say that pressure and temperature are increasing for this constant volume heating, right? So let's see our next question. Answer will be C. Next question, when a gas is heated at constant pressure, see, for this also both temperature and volume will increase. You can check from the same PV and TS diagram. You will get same lines, but the slope of constant pressure will be somewhat less, right? Constant volume slope will be something like this, and constant pressure volume slope is somewhat less in TS, right? And PV you will get like this, constant volume, right? Constant volume on PV, and for constant pressure you will get like this. So this is the difference, you can check that. Next question, the heating of a gas at constant volume is governed by, at constant volume means it is a Charles law, right? Answer will be B. Next question, the heating of a gas at constant pressure, sorry, heating of gas at constant volume is Gay-Lussac law, and heating of a gas at constant pressure is Charles law, right? So next question, when a gas is heated at constant pressure, the heat supplied is utilized in, see, if gas is heated at constant pressure, that heat will be utilized in increasing the internal energy and also doing some external work, right? So our answer to this 106 question will be option number C. This will be C, this will be B, this will be C. Next question, a mixture of gas expands from 0.03 meter cube to 0.016 meter cube at a constant pressure of 1 megapascal and absorb 84 kilojoule of heat during the process. The change in internal energy of the mixture is, see, you have to simply apply first law of thermodynamics, del Q equal to du plus del W. What it has given, we can take a del W as PdV, right? PdV, and in asking change in internal energy, we will keep it as du, and it is saying that absorb 84 kilojoule of heat, so we will take it as 84. Now du will become 84 minus PdV, and what is P? P is 1 megapascal. Convert it into kilojoule because our options are in kilojoule, so it will become 10 to the power of 6, 10 to the power of 6 Pascal, and this volume will be 0.06 minus 0.03, right? So 0.06 minus 0.03 will be 0.03 into 10 to the power of 6, 0.03 into 10 to the power of 6. If you calculate it, you will get something 84 minus 30, you will get something 54 kilojoule. Okay guys, so our change in internal energy will be 54 kilojoule. Answer will be 54 kilojoule. Let's see next question. The gas constant R is equal to, it is a difference of specific heat, right? It is very simple. The heating and expanding of a gas is called thermodynamic system. No, it is not called thermodynamic system for heating and expanding of a gas. When the gas is cooled at constant pressure, right? When the gas is cooled at constant pressure, see, if you are cooling the gas, the temperature will decrease. Temperature will decrease means, see here temperature is increasing, this will be wrong, and here temperature is decreasing. In this option it is given as temperature decreasing, and in this it is given as both temperature and volume is decreasing. So let's plot on PV diagram, we will get to know. So it is a constant pressure, horizontal line, and it is cooling. It is cooling means if it heating, the molecule will bombard with each other and it will create a increase in volume, but here in this case it is cooling, so volume will get reduced, so our direction will be 1 to 2 in this direction, right? So what we can see here, it is a cooling, so temperature will decrease and volume will decrease, so our answer will be Option number D, both temperature and volume will decrease. From PV we can say that volume is decreasing, and from TS also. From TS, if you see TS diagram, this will be somewhat like this: 1 to 2 constant pressure cooling, our temperature will be same as decreasing from here to here, right? So this question is completed. Answer will be both temperature and volume decreases, right? Next question, a process in which the gas is heated or expanded in such a way that the product of the pressure and volume remains constant. If P and V product is remains constant, then it will be called as hyperbolic process. Okay, so just remember this: PV equal to constant, right? This product of PV equals to constant is a hyperbolic process. The hyperbolic process is governed by Boyle's law. Next question, a process in which the temperature of the working substance remains constant, temperature constant during expansion or compression is called. See, if it is saying that only temperature is constant, then it will be isothermal. But if it is saying that product of pressure and volume is constant, then it will be hyperbolic. So don't treat hyperbolic and constant temperature, isothermal, both to be same. Okay, so here our answer will be isothermal process. So let's see next page what we have other questions. So our next question says, the heating of a gas at constant pressure is governed by Charles' law. Is it true or false? Constant pressure, Charles' law, right? Next question, a process in which the gas is heated or expanded in such a way that product of its pressure and volume remains constant is called isothermal process. I just now said, if P and V product is constant, then it is called hyperbolic, nor it's not isothermal, right? So it will be no. Next question, in an isothermal process there is no change in temperature. Okay, option number A is the right. Next question, an isothermal process is governed by Boyle's law. These are all simple questions. Next question, the expansion ratio is the ratio of, see, whenever these ratios will come, these ratios will be greater than 1. Okay, so in compression ratio we say V1 by V2, but here it is asking as expansion ratio, so it will be a reverse, V2 by V1. Okay, suppose you take a Otto cycle on PV diagram like this, so what you will get? 1 2 3 4, right? So this V1 by V2, what is this? V1 by V2, this is called compression ratio, and these are called this 3 to 4, which is V4 by V3, which is called as, V3 by V4 is called as expansion ratio. So V3 by V4 we can write as V3 as V2 and V4 as V1, so it will be V2 by V1. So our expansion ratio is the ratio of V2 by V1, right? So our answer will be V2 by V1. Our next question, a process in which the working substance neither receives nor gives out heat to its surroundings during its expansion or compression is called, it is clearly called as adiabatic process, where no heat or transfer of takes place across the boundary. Okay, next question, there is no change in internal energy in an isothermal process. True, it is correct. It is correct, because internal energy is a function of absolute temperature, and if you are keeping temperature as constant, the internal energy will be constant. It won't change, temperature won't change, internal energy won't change. So it is a correct statement. Next question, the work done during adiabatic expansion is given by adiabatic expansion work. See, we can write this in various forms. One of this form is this one, and also this one and also this one, this 3. So our answer is all of this correct. Okay, so I will just make you know that how these two equations came from here. So P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by gamma minus 1, right? So what you can write from here is P1 V1 minus P2 V2, you can write as MR T1 minus T2, since we know P1 V1 equal to MR T1 and P2 V2 equal to MR T2, right? So you just put in P1 V1 MR T1 and in place of P2 V2 you put it as MR T2. What you will get? MR will be common and T1 minus T2. This will be the your next new equation, which is option B, right? And how will you get option C? So if you take MR by gamma minus 1, so you further simplify this MR by gamma minus 1 and then T1 minus T2, you take common T1, what you will get? 1 minus T2 by T1, right? This you will get, and from that do one thing, you know this from by Boyle's law, Charles and Gay-Lussac law. If you combine, you will get P1 V1 by T1 equal to P2 V2 by T2, right? So from here what you can this is T2, so T2 by T1 will be equal to P2 V2 divided by P1 V1. So what you can write T2 by T1 in place of T2 by T1 you can write P2 V2 by P1 V1. This is the same thing here, it has written here 1 minus T2 by T1, in place of T2 by T1 it has written as P2 V2 by P1 V1, right? So to this question our ABC, all of these are right answers. So these are various forms of the same equation you can write based on the given data. So answer will be D. Let's see next question. The general law for the expansion or compression of gases is, we know it is P power N V power const, right? Where N is polytropic index. This is a general expression. Our option is C. Let's see next question. When the expansion or compression takes place according to the PV to the power of N equal to constant, the process is known as C. When N is equal to N, then it will be called as polytropic process. And an adiabatic process is one in which no heat enter or leaves the gas. The temperature of the gas changes. Yes, A and B are right. C says the change in internal energy is equal to the mechanical work done. Yes, it is also true. How C is correct? C, del Q equal to du plus del W. So since adiabatic process, so del Q will be 0, and if you bring this here, then it will become du more equal to minus del W. So it will be equal, just in opposite sign, right? So to this question our answer will be D. The temperature of the gas change, obviously it will increase, since the temperature will increase, since the transfer is, there is no transfer of heat across the system, since it is adiabatic, right? So answer will be D. So let's see our next page. We are done with this, and I will continue the rest of the questions of this thermodynamics RS Fermi series, and till then you just go through all the questions and just solving step by step. And if you are having any problem, any doubt, any small doubt, then you just comment below and I will post a detailed explanation there in your comment, right? So till then just revise, take care, we'll see in the next video.